All right, so we've already talked about the big picture of metabolism, right? That whole balancing act of breaking things down for energy and building new things up. But today we're going to zoom way, way in. We're going inside the cell, inside the factory, to meet the microscopic machinery that makes it all possible.
So think about it for a second. How does a bite of an apple or a piece of chicken actually become the energy that lets you think or blink or even just sit there? It's not magic, I promise you. It's an incredibly complex and beautiful assembly line, and it's running inside every single one of your cells right now. You know, every good assembly line needs workers, and in our cellular factory, those workers are called enzymes. These guys are the real MVPs. They're these super specialized proteins that are responsible for pretty much every chemical reaction that keeps you alive.
So what exactly is an enzyme? Well, at its core, it's a catalyst. See, without enzymes, the reactions in our bodies would happen so slowly they'd be, well, pretty much useless for life. Enzymes are what speed things up to a pace that can actually sustain us. They're the ones who get the whole process going.
Now, these little cellular workers have some key characteristics you gotta know. First, they're reusable, which is super efficient. One enzyme can do its job over and over and over again. But because they're proteins, they can be a little sensitive. If things get too hot or the pH is off, they can stop working. And this is a big one. They often can't work alone. They need a little help.
Okay, so if the enzymes are the workers on the assembly line, what are their tools? How do they actually grab the energy that gets released when we break down food and move it to where it needs to go? And that is where coenzymes come into play. If enzymes are the workers, think of coenzymes as the factory's transport system. They're like the forklifts or the little delivery trucks. Their whole job is to shuttle important stuff, specifically high-energy particles, from one spot in the factory to another. So a coenzyme is basically an enzyme's essential sidekick. The enzyme might be the master craftsman doing the main job, but the coenzyme is right there, handing it the exact part it needs at the exact right time, which allows the whole reaction to happen. And here is where this gets super relevant to what we eat every day. Where do these critical coenzymes come from? Well, we build a lot of them from the B vitamins in our diet. This is exactly why B vitamins are so famous for energy. Without vitamins like niacin and riboflavin, your body can't build its main energy shuttles. The entire factory would just grind to a halt. So, here's a really important concept to grasp. When we talk about moving energy around inside a cell, what we're really talking about is moving around high-energy electrons. These tiny little particles are like the physical form of energy that gets passed from one molecule to another. Okay, let's meet the two star players of our energy logistics team, NAD+ and FAD. These two coenzymes are the absolute main characters when it comes to picking up those high-energy electrons that are released when we break down our food. Let's take a closer look at NAD+. It's made from that B vitamin, niacin, and you can think of it as an empty cargo truck just waiting for a job. When a reaction happens and energy is released, NAD+ drives up, picks up two of those high-energy electrons and a hydrogen ion, and it becomes NADH. Now it's a fully loaded truck, packed with energy and ready to roll. And then we have its partner, FAD. It's made from another B vitamin, riboflavin, and it does a very similar job. FAD is another empty shuttle. It pulls up, it picks up two electrons and two hydrogen ions, and it becomes FADH2. So we've got another loaded energy truck, heading off to its destination.
So where are these energy-packed trucks going? What's their final destination? They're all heading to the part of the factory that creates the final product, the one thing the whole cell can actually use to pay its bills. They're going to help create the cell's universal energy currency, ATP. ATP, or adenosine triphosphates, is basically cellular cash. It's the one form of energy that any part of the cell can recognize and spend immediately to get work done. Whether it's making a muscle contract, firing a nerve impulse, or building a new protein, it's all paid for with ATP. So where is all this energy actually stored? Well, you've got this molecule called adenosine, and it's attached to 3 phosphate groups. The real magic is in the chemical bonds holding those last 2 phosphates on. They are packed with potential energy, kind of like tightly coiled springs, just waiting to be released. And your cells are constantly, and I mean constantly, recycling this stuff. When a cell needs energy, it just snaps off one of those phosphate groups. Pop! Energy is released, and the ATP turns into ADP. Then, the energy from your food, delivered by our friends NADH and FADH2, is used to stick that phosphate right back on, recharging ADP back into ATP. It's this beautiful, continuous cycle of spending and earning.
And this brings us right back to those big concepts we started with, anabolism and catabolism. See? Building ATP is an anabolic reaction. You're building something, so it requires an input of energy. And breaking down your food to provide that energy, well, that's what catabolism is all about. It all connects.
So, we've got the workers, we've got the shuttles, we've got the currency. But where is the main bank? Where does the bulk of this ATP actually get made? For that, we need to visit the main power plant of the cell.
Now, the very first steps of breaking down fuel, like sugar, actually happen out in the main fluid of the cell, which is called the cytosol. And you get a little bit of ATP made there, but honestly, that's just the appetizer. The main event, the real show, happens somewhere much more specialized.
And here it is, the mitochondrion. You've probably heard it called the powerhouse of the cell, and that is not an exaggeration. This is the place where those energy shuttles we met, NADH and FADH2, finally arrive to drop off their precious cargo of electrons. That drop-off powers the machinery that produces almost all of the ATP your cells need to function. So, let's recap. We've met the key players. Our enzyme workers, our coenzyme shuttles NAD+ and FAD, the universal ATP currency, and the mitochondrial power plant. Our whole factory floor is set up and ready to go. So the only question left is, what happens when the first shipment of raw material, a single molecule of glucose, arrives at the factory door? Well, we'll dive into that in our very next explainer.